Hey everyone, Mrs. Hillary here. Thanks so much for joining me today as I sit down with Rachel, or as most of us know her, Miss Lady H.
In. Are we working? Are we on?
Who needs them? Who needs them? We've got
Oh,
this
Lordy.
together.
Second time's a charm.
Exactly. It was just a trial, that's all.
It's like,
So how's the last week of yours been at your
not too
house?
bad. Not too bad, thank you. Yeah. Busy.
Good.
It's
Y-
been busy.
I imagine. I imagine. So
Uh,
we had some pretty big news yesterday for I know this video is going to come out a little later, but how does that feel having that information out and off your chest, sort of, for
It's,
lack of a better
it's,
word?
I like it. As a community manager, I like it a lot. It means we've got answers to people's questions now when they come asking. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
I obviously am very happy for the
Yeah.
news as well. I actually had started a reaction sort of video last night and then life got in the way, of course, but that'll
Uh,
be out eventually.
yeah.
It'll be out by the time this gets out anyway. But very excited to
Good.
do the beta.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say we're all a little, oh, that we have to wait for early access, but
Yeah.
the I think, I truly mean it when I say the best things are worth waiting for. And one thing that as a person just watching that I've truly enjoyed watching is the amount of passion that is going into
Yeah.
this project as a whole. So I guess that's a great sort of segue to introduce yourself. Tell me what's your connection to
Hi.
Godforge and Fateless, and we'll pretend we don't know each other.
No, we don't. We don't really. Um,
No, that's true.
yeah, yeah. So I'm Rachel. I am community manager at Godforge, and I also cover the social media, most of the social media. Um, and yeah, that's about it in terms of at Godforge. I'm connected because Simon is my husband. It made sense that I would also join the business. So, so here I am, plodding along as community manager.
And how are you enjoying that?
I like it. Yeah, I was unsure at first. It was the funny thing. I was sort of helping here and there with little bits and pieces for a while. Didn't really have a specific role, which I didn't really like. I say I didn't like it. I also like not working, as most people might. So I was filling my time with other things. But when it came to sort of worky stuff, I felt like I wanted to be involved. So I sort of sidled my way in, and then when Gramps left to do a bit more QA, so he was Cratching Grandpa. He was doing a lot of the community management stuff, and he moved over. I was able to just sort of slide into his position, and although it was a bit daunting at first because my gaming history is low, there isn't a lot of it. I wasn't sure how I would fit in with the community. I know there's still times now where people go off on tangents about gaming chat in our Discord, and I just leave them to it. I'll come and make sure people are just being nice to each other. That's my role. I am anti-troll. I feel like that's where I am most useful. I cannot bear anyone trolling, so
And
that's
I
the role
I
I put
can
myself down.
yeah, I was gonna say I can see just from what I've seen happen in the Discord that that's something that's very close to you as a person too. Like there's that spread kindness in the world, right? So
Yes,
that definitely comes across online, and I
good,
know
good.
we all appreciate that too because that's one of the most important things about having a community is having a safe community and a community
Yeah,
that has your back. And,
yes,
that's
yeah.
amazing. We see that every
Zero
day.
tolerance for it.
Yeah. Okay. So what you mentioned a little bit, let's explore. Tell me a little bit about your gaming history.
Um, it's mostly Mario Kart, I would say. Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube is the best Mario Kart. I will die on that hill. Um, Other than that, there's not a lot, to be honest. It's mostly now. I had a console when I was a teenager, and I spent lots of sad hours in my bedroom playing Sonic the Hedgehog and Alex Kidd. Um,
Mhm.
but now it's just mobile. It's quick and easy mobile games, little puzzly things, that sort of that sort of thing. Nothing very deep. Kind of
Okay.
thing you play
So
while you're waiting for your MOT, or that
true.
sort of game.
True. So what off-stream game? Well, what game are you playing right now?
I've got I've got a couple. So one of them is a yarn unraveling game, and you it's like layers of wool, and you have to unravel it and put it in a little box, and then the box goes and it tells you the next color that you need to unravel, and that disappears off. It's quite mindless. It's just nice. I don't have to think about it.
I love that.
Easy playing.
Yeah, I'm meant to get the name of the app so I could check it out because it
Yeah,
just
I think
sounds.
it's yarn fever, something like that. But yeah,
I will definitely check it out. Sounds like something to just relax the
yeah,
mind, maybe at night, and instead of doom scrolling or
yes,
obsession in, making sure people are behaving, because we both know that's a
yeah.
24/7 job.
It is, yeah.
So, how do you balance homework life then with Discord being, right in the palm of your hand sort of
Yeah,
situation?
it does make it difficult. And the fact that obviously things like Discord and the social media, they're ever changing. They don't ever stop. I don't finish work on Friday at 5 and go back to work on Monday at 9. I can't leave the whole weekend without doing
Hmm.
some work. Um, that being said, I've learnt to a little while, but I took like notifications off of my phone for Discord, so I don't get them. If I'm out doing something else, it won't notify me, and I can dip in if I want to, but I can
Hmm.
pretend that it's not happening if I'm not there. And generally, actually, we're able to say we've got such a great team of mods on Discord that both Susie and I are often able to say, look, we're going to be out for today or whatever, and we know that there's people there, so that makes it much easier to be able to separate the two when you've got people that are helping out and you know that that they can be relied on. That really helps. Um,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
yeah,
And same thing, big shout out to that mod team. They are fantastic.
really
They've
great.
been incredibly supportive, very helpful as
Yeah,
well, right? It's a
yeah,
very well-rounded leadership team. I think you guys, it's one thing I really want to commend you guys is it has been fantastic to be a part of that community, coming from the raid community, which had its moments of
yeah,
wonderful community and then had some very toxic moments too. So it's so nice, it's refreshing to come to that and have such a great team, informative team, helpful team.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so you mentioned Mario Kart. I'm gonna say, would you sounded like you like to play Mario Kart. Would you say you're competitive with games?
Yes, yes. I'm competitive with everything. It's not even just games. But yes, Mario Kart in particular. I can remember I moved. My sister and I lived together for a while, and I would my her boyfriend lived with us as well. He would work during the day, and I would work nights in a restaurant. And during the day, he'd get home from work, and he'd get on Mario Kart and do the time trials. And there was one track that we would do every single time. So he'd play it after work until he went to bed. Then I'd get home at about midnight, straight away switch it on, see if he'd beaten my day's time trial. And then I'd go on and I wouldn't go to bed until I'd beaten him. So then it just carried on for months and months where we just, each time we got home from work, each of us would put it on, see if we'd beaten the other one. I'd be like, right, I must beat you today. Yes, hugely competitive, which
So
most people probably see in my streams with Simon. We
I was going to say, how does that transcribe when you have Simon as your husband, who is very obvious, very big into competition as well, right?
he
We've
is
seen that.
Yeah, he's very competitive too. I think it works. I like it. We we don't ever get cross, particularly. We're both quite fair, and neither of us are cheaters. So we know that if we're in a competition of some sort, the winner will be the rightful winner. Which
Perfect. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that because I know I can be a little competitive sometimes. And so I can see how things can get out of control in some situations, but it obviously sounds like you two, well, you guys have been together now, forgive me, I think you said upwards of 20 years, right?
yes. So this year it will be 22 years.
Yeah. So you've got quite a bit of time in there too of
We've had a lot of
asserted who
competition.
wins. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite food?
Um, I if I was to pick one food item, it would be bacon. I just love
Okay.
bacon. I wouldn't eat it the way Americans eat it with sweet with like maple syrup and you have it with pancakes and things, don't you?
You can do sweet or savory with it.
Yeah,
I've seen both, but yeah, like so
yeah.
bacon
I'm a
on a
savoury.
sandwich.
Yes, I'm a savoury baconer. Um,
Uh,
yeah. Other than that, if I was going full meals, I'm partial to a good solid pasta or a roast dinner, Sunday roast.
okay. Did you guys end up going out last week for your Sunday roast dinner?
Did we go out? No doubt we did. We usually do. It's become a thing every Sunday. Every Sunday we go hunting.
Just for
No,
a
we didn't.
little.
We
Oh,
didn't. We didn't last week. No, we went out on the Saturday. We had a day out on the Saturday. We went to a local sort of seaside town and went to a castle. Had a spot of lunch. I went to a bottomless brunch on Sunday and got drunk. That's why we didn't go out for Sunday
fair,
lunch. I had a different
fair.
kind of Sunday lunch.
A liquid
Yes,
Sunday lunch. Yes.
a lot of
Um,
cocktails.
did you have fun though?
I had
Did
a
you
great time.
unwind and
Yeah,
get away from the world
yes,
and just
I did.
relax?
Yeah, I did. It was lovely.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good, good. Because I know for a little context, we had done this originally last week, and unfortunately there was an issue with the recording process, and it didn't record. So Rachel has been so kind to been willing to sit with me again. So there is, I guess, a little bit of background information that I have. So forgive me if the questions sort of seem offside, but that's where they've come from. And
Yeah.
um, so I guess my next inquiry is what is playing in your playlist? What kind of music do you like?
A little bit of everything, mostly. But either 90s music I would go for, 90s pop, you can't beat 90s English pop, or musicals. I'm a big musical fan, which you had said you are as well.
I am. We had a lovely conversation of
Yeah, we could
musicals.
probably not have that again.
Yeah, we know where we stand. That's
We went
what
on a
matters.
tangent about that one, but yeah, yeah, musicals. So yeah, Les Mis is one of my favourites. Phantom, yeah, all the old school musicals.
Yeah.
I remember.
And 90s UK pop, can't go wrong with that. I have to admit, I too am a
Really?
fan. First tape I ever had was Ace of Base.
Oh, really?
Yep,
Nice.
yep. So, um, okay, so let's sort of steer back a bit. What's been your favorite moment or memory of working and being a part of Godforge so far?
Probably the one that stands out the most is I think where I realised that people were really into it, really interested, and that was when we did the announced trailer last a year ago now, so last March. I think I just was surprised that people were so excited about this little minute or two clip about a game that was coming out. I think it's just there's a lot of it a lot of what I'm coming across is all new. It's like a whole new world. So when I see, and even in the making of that, actually, Simon was so into the making of it, and he was sort of getting me over to his PC and showing me, look at this one from League of Legends or whatever it was, and listen to the music from this other one that I've seen, and his excitement behind it, and then the community's excitement for it coming, and then their reaction to it afterwards. In particular, the CCs, everyone sort of watched it, made reaction videos and things like that. I loved it. It was so nice to see everyone so hyped up and happy about this sort of flip
And,
of.
and as a wife, I'm sure supporting Simon too, right? You want to see
Yeah,
your any adventure that you take. I'm sure he's in your corner supporting you. So
yeah,
there's that excitement for him as well, right?
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, there is. Very
So
excited.
what do you do to fill your time when you're not on Discord or uh unwinding wine? Yarn.
or drinking cocktails on a Sunday afternoon. I don't do that every Sunday. It's okay. I put aside all the mumsy type jobs. Obviously, they're there. I love a bit of gardening, and I help out. I volunteer twice a week. Um, one of those places is a hedgehog rescue, and the other one is a toddler group, like a parent and toddler group. So I do that. That's 2 mornings a week. I go and help out at those places, which I love.
That's a that's amazing. Yes, you I was very excited to mention the hedgehog
The hedgehog,
rescue
yeah,
again because it
yeah,
was so cool to hear you giving back and working with a mom and baby group too. What a fantastic thing to be a
yeah,
part of.
yeah.
Um,
It's
because
lovely.
babies, who doesn't love them, especially when they're other people's. I love my child. But I've after I stopped having children, I love other people's children because I get to
Yeah,
have
thank you. That's
fun
enough.
and then yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Here you
yeah,
go. I tired them out. Like
yeah, yeah.
so what are I guess what are you most excited about for Godforge?
I am excited. I guess also apprehensive. I'm excited for the release, proper release, and excited for hopefully this to go really, really well. It's that simple, I think. Just
Oh,
because I think from behind the scenes, I see so many people putting in so much work, and obviously Simon in particular. I see how much
mhm.
he gives to this whole thing, and for him more than anything else, I just for it to be a success and be a popular game that people really want to play would just be great.
And I have no doubt. I can say myself playing the alpha, I didn't want it to stop. Um, yeah, I was content playing the alpha in waves for the foreseeable future personally because I enjoyed it so much. It was
Yeah.
refreshing. It's beautiful. Like the artwork is beautiful in it. Um,
Incredible.
and just watching the UI improvements and all the different changes over the last few months, it's been incredible to just watch the work come together. So who was you? Because you played the alpha a little
Well,
bit.
not really. I played to level 4 and just went, I don't understand what I'm doing here. And I left it and I went back to customer service where I could be more useful. That was my alpha.
Okay, but you do have a favorite champ,
Yeah, so we've been playing now. I've been playing in the
right?
testing phases. Now there's a lot more people that I can say I don't understand this, or I can bumble my way through, or shout at Simon across the room. What am I supposed to do here? And he, after he's finished rolling his eyes, he does help me out a little bit. Yeah, favorite champ. I've just got this last week Aries. And built Aries up, and he's got this last week Aries. And built Aries up, and he's pretty good.
Okay.
Um, and I still can't remember his name. There's another guy. What did we say his name was? Nezu. Nezu?
I believe so. Hold on.
Got the
Neza.
Neza, that's it. With the
Yeah.
rings on his feet. Yeah. I really like him. He was great. And Babby I had in our first round of testing. I had to get rid of him because we started our accounts again to start a new challenge. But in the first round of testing I had Babby and I really liked him too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good
So
animations and hard hitters. I liked it.
yeah. So I'm excited because obviously there's only so much we get to see, right? So
Yep.
not that you guys, and that's the beautiful thing too, is the full disclosure, the transparency has been so appreciated because right now that we have that these games out here that we don't get a lot of transparency. And so the fact that uh, Simon and everyone is going at it from a very open stance, and this is where we're at, and
Yeah.
I think is fantastic. I think it's you can truly tell that they care. They care about gamer experience. They care right from new player experience up to experienced players, right? They want to make sure it's a well-rounded game for everyone. And you can really tell the passion is so there
Yeah.
just watching the videos. So I can only imagine from your end how exciting it is to see things starting to come to fruition
Yeah.
and
Yeah. And
just
they're all people that play these games anyway. So, they start new games. So they know how they want to feel when the game starts and they know how they want to feel when they're a couple of years in. So, it really I think that's probably a lot of the drive. It's like I know what I want here.
mhm.
From say Simon or Sham or Dan, they know what they want. Sometimes I'm sure they get told that's not what you can have, but but their experience gives them so much knowledge. I think.
For sure, for sure. They are some of the most experienced in the field, I would say, in my opinion, especially in this genre game. I think what I really appreciate, there was a comment I had made, I think, in the Podforge video about being someone who I'm not I am not at their level by any means. Like I struggle to gear a champ. I'm getting it
It's
slowly.
hard.
It
It's
is
really
like
hard.
there's so many things you have to think about and
Yep.
try to put it all together. And my husband is a min-maxer, like he is phenomenal at this game at these games.
Yeah.
And so I try not to ask too many questions because I like to figure it out on my own, but then I don't figure it out. And then
Yeah.
I get
Same.
upset. So I ask for help. So
Yeah.
uh I think, but I can't remember exactly. I think I'd referenced Dragonair, and the way that their gearing system worked, is the main stats that the characters need. They had little thumbs up by them. And I had just kind of
Right.
mentioned about how useful for someone like myself that was. And, to have you guys recognize that, and there was a really positive response back and a thank you for for bringing it to their attention and stuff. So
Yeah.
like, you know I'm not expecting obviously that replicated in Godforge, but just knowing that that little tiny opinion that's maybe one out of 250 players is still important
Somebody
enough
heard
to
it.
be,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that that is so important and phenomenal that
Yeah.
something like that was listened to, and anybody following along or watching any of the videos around Godforge, you guys are the team is right involved, and positively supporting all of the creators, all of the
Hmm.
videos. You and even feedback on your own videos. There's you listen and you
Yep.
respond and you take time, and it's it's really nice to see that because you don't get that in a lot of communities.
Yeah.
And maybe it's, the fortune of being here from the get-go and the ground up. But I feel even as the Discord has grown, that still is really important, that connection and communication with Fateless and the viewers. And I
Yeah.
think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
It's something I think that we wanted right from the beginning. Well, I mean, Simon's always been that way anyway. He's always in his Hell Hades channel, YouTube channel. It was always him in the comment sections replying
mhm.
to people and stuff. So that's just how he does it. So he's always in the Discord reading everything people are saying in there. He's in the comment sections reading what people are saying there. That's just his way. It made sense to just carry it over, and that's what everyone does here now.
Yeah, and it's valued, right?
Mm,
Like is what I'm saying for
yeah,
sure. Like
yeah,
it's so nice and refreshing to know that the people that are kind of at the top of the chain are listening,
yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
not just the admin, it's not just the mods, it's not just you or Susie or anyone else in the dev team. Like it's everyone
yeah.
in the community is a
Yeah.
part of it. And I love that. So you guys have, I want to commend you guys on your community. You have done an incredible
Well, thanks.
job, and it's such a pleasure to be a part of. Um,
Good. That's
so
what we want. That's what we like to hear. Good.
yeah, for sure, especially for me not being very advanced when it comes to gaming.
Yep.
I can't even get a Zoom meeting to record. Like,
I've just
it's
realised that I didn't pull the mic across and it's right here. I'm surprised you can even hear me. So, we're both rubbish.
well, I appreciate you spending your time with me. I know this is kind of your relaxation time to yourself a little bit. And I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today. Is there anything else you'd
All
like
right.
to kind of touch on before we go? Or,
Well,
uh,
you had mentioned when you first reached out, or when I saw your request for a collab, you wanted to talk about ladies in gaming. I was wondering
yes.
what your experience is with that.
I've been, I was very, I want to say I was very lucky, in the sense that when I started, um, I built a community, like I started watching my then boyfriend's old roommate, um, streaming, and that's sort of how I started playing little computer games there. Like League of Legends was one I played,
Yeah.
TFT, which was part of League of Legends. And then I was like, this streaming kind of looks fun. So I decided I was going to stream on Twitch and I got a raid sponsorship. And I was like, oh, I'll just play it for the sponsorship for the week. What's the worst that could happen? And I would like to think I gained some pretty decent traction, for someone who had no idea what I was doing. And being a female, I was very
Yeah.
fortunate. I had a very positive community. I had some really great mods that were on top of anything. If anybody said anything inappropriate, they were all over it. And I was very lucky that the community I attracted wanted to help me better understand the game. So it was almost like
Nice.
a mutual appreciation where I
Yeah.
learned from them and they got to teach and help me sort of progress and laugh at the things we did well and remind me of terrible decisions like feeding High Katoon right
Oh, yeah.
away. Yeah. They my first Bommel, successful Bommel run, we all cheered. My first legendary,
Oh, that's nice.
so I was very, very lucky there. I've been very fortunate in gaming. I haven't gotten too much flack for
Mm-hmm.
not even for being new, right? And
Yeah.
but I'm honest about that, I think. And so I'm only attracting the community that enjoys that type of beginner experience.
Yeah.
Thankfully, a lot of, for the most part, the sort of the trolls, they're more interested in trolling the big CCs that know what they're doing. Like, sorry, Simon, they're heading your way, not mine.
Yeah, it's true.
Um,
Yeah.
was my experience.
Yeah.
So I can say truthfully, I'm very fortunate for the community that I connected with on
Oh,
Twitch.
good.
I played a few other different games. I did a sponsorship for Marvel Strike Force and met an incredible community there. I'm actually in the Discord that my Discord is a coalition of ex MSF streamers. We all came together, and so that's sort of we have a community Discord. But through any of that, I think how you present yourself and your personality is so important when you're streaming, and you sort of draw the sometimes you're fortunate enough to draw the same energy and
Yeah.
match the same energy. And I think being a small content creator, I'm fortunate in that sense that I'm
Yeah.
still only really attracting the sort of like-mindedness community that aren't going to sit there and be like, you don't know what you're doing, or they just get bored,
Yeah.
right? The
And
the
you've already
people,
said, I don't really know what I'm doing here. So people, that can't hurt you because you've already said
yeah,
it about yourself.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And when I first started, one of my sort of soapboxes is bring the kindness into the world. And I think maybe that's why I connect so much with what you guys are doing,
Yeah.
because I truly believe, you don't know what someone else is going through. I worked frontline addiction and mental health for 2 years. I dealt with the fentanyl overdose crisis day in and day out, and you know, watching some individuals, not come back from that. It's what can I do to
Yeah.
make everyone's day just a little bit brighter? And they truly humbled me, and I'm a better person for the 2 years working with the upward of 200 clients that we had. And they were incredible people, and they helped me really focus on bringing that kindness to the world, because sometimes all you've got is your smile and saying hello, and
Yeah.
the power of kindness. They really taught me and showed me that putting that kindness out, the reward is so much more than any financial compensation for
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I bet.
So I guess having that sort of persona and personality and being extremely empathetic, I sort of draw that attention. So I've been, like I said, I was very fortunate, not to say I haven't had some negativity, and for that I just sort of block and delete
That's what
and
that button is for.
exactly.
Off you
And
pop.
yep.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I am harder on myself than anybody else could be. So there's
Yeah,
nothing you can
same.
say to me that my brain
Yeah.
hasn't already said,
Yeah.
is sort of
So
my
true.
my way now. 10 years ago, totally different person. I'd have broke down crying. Now I'm kind of like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I am a little offside. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
You
Oh, that's
um
nice. That's a good place to be in.
it's yeah, it's been a journey to get there, but I think, that's the beauty of life, is we all have our own journeys, and it's amazing where journeys can lead us and who they can connect us with, and
Mm.
and I you know and again, I do believe things happen for a reason. And when Susie reached out and I started poking around the Discord, it was like, yeah, this is 100% somewhere I want to be.
Yeah.
And, I feel welcome there. It's such a great place. So I won't keep you for
Good.
much longer. I won't ramble much longer. Are you excited for beta?
I yes, I may or may not play. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Mainly because I land in customer service when we do something
Hmm.
like this. So the same as alphas, that's where I head. And obviously, when it first starts, the Discord goes nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first um each alpha wave, the first day that it was on, Simon and I were sat in the office until 3 a.m., 3 or 4 a.m., just helping people get into the game and keeping up with Discord and all that sort of stuff. So we're hoping to have systems in place so that that's not quite so tricky, getting people in and things like that. But there's bound to be stuff, and
Hmm.
there'll be a sort of a bug system of some sort. I don't quite know what that is yet, or at least I don't. I expect other people do, but I don't. So I would imagine that is where most of my time, or a big chunk of my time, will be spent. So I don't have the brain capacity to play the beta and deal with the community. I just don't. Last time it was so overwhelming. There came points where I was like, I am going to the hedgehogs and I am leaving my phone in the car. I'm not even taking my telephone in with me. Like I need 2 or 3 hours just away.
Yeah.
so so yeah, hopefully this will be a bit calmer because
Well,
we've done it 3 times essentially. So
yeah. And every time is a new learning lesson, and
yes,
that's the beauty of the way that they're approaching the game, right? So
yeah.
my thinking, and obviously we have no idea what's going to happen after this beta until early access, but I would like to think that there may potentially be other rounds of a beta, right? Where it's like, oh, we've done all of this work. Who knows? We don't know
Who
what
knows?
exactly,
Yeah.
and not even worth speculating over. But, again, it goes back to that community mindset and the importance of having a game that the community enjoys. And so I think we're all, for lack of a better word, chomping at the bit for
yeah.
some gameplay.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it
Well,
must be
that's it, right?
nice.
The people that were annoyed yesterday, there wasn't many, to be honest. Obviously we understand the disappointment, but anyone that was a bit cranky, people just want to play it, and that's we have to take that as look how passionate these people are that they're this upset that they can't play it yet. Like you
Hmm.
have to spin it and turn it into a positive.
Oh, for sure.
But if
And there's always going to be negativity. There's always
yeah,
haters. Haters are gonna hate no matter what. I know reading through some of the comments, I'm just like, you're just trolling. Like, this is
yeah,
not, you're
we're
not
not going to
someone
give you
that's
airtime.
actually, yeah, exactly. And but again, you guys were right there, right in the comments, responding back to
That's
people
it.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
it,
Simon in there. Sham was in there yesterday. Yeah.
yeah. So, you know, you guys have an amazing game. I know that's the most important thing is we're all very excited to play the game.
Good. Good.
And yes, for sure. I absolutely loved it. I loved the alphas. I was very fortunate. I got a medal, which,
Nice.
yeah, it's my
Of
fancy little
course so it is.
station over here. But it's front and center there. Because I think it's even giving back in that way was so cool.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah. It was
I can't
a
wait
great little
for,
touch.
yes, for sure. And then the other prizes as well that went with the alpha were amazing.
Yeah.
Um, I know the individuals that won are were still in some ways kind of mind blown about the prizes, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it's
I'm
pretty.
still working on my ticket to Vegas. I'm still working on it. I don't
I
know if I'm
just
allowed
want
to
the
go yet.
time and date, and I'll just peek out of like the palm
Just
tree.
spring up.
You'll just
Yeah.
look over,
Okay.
and I'm like out of a
Hey,
tree.
hold
Yeah,
on.
I know that face.
That's that lady singing Phantom of the Opera songs.
Yeah, yeah. Oh goodness. Yeah, that's how I'll get your attention at the airport. I'll just get a megaphone and start singing. Um,
It'll work.
wish,
It'll work.
wishing you were somehow here again. That was my favorite.
Oh, crikey. Okay. Gone big.
Oh yeah, dramatic. Go big or go home, Rachel.
Fine.
If I'm in the middle of an airport with a megaphone, I might as well
This is true. This is true.
in Vegas. Unless I'd probably get tackled by security or something. They'd be like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're singing off key. This is terrible."
I'm here for it. I can't. Well, I'm definitely getting a ticket now.
Deal. Deal. Worst case, I'll just film it for you. I'll film somewhere. I'll be out
Yeah.
somewhere and I'll just send that to you. That'll be your own little
Perfect.
special prize.
Perfect. And I will immediately put that onto socials.
Oh no. I mean, there's a short of me doing baby shark in a shark onesie. There was, did you ever see the podcast, the Podforge video with
I did.
Adam?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind
Kinda-
of with the tongue.
Licked my wounds for that for a few months. Yep. But all in, it was, it's still hilarious. It's funny. For anyone that missed it, I was talking about Zeus being overpowered and it just, yeah. Go find episode 4 of Podforge.
Sure, there's a clip of it somewhere.
Oh, there is.
No doubt.
There is.
No
I'm
doubt.
sure. Maybe I'll just add it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I won't. I know I said that a few minutes ago, but I really
yeah.
do appreciate your time. I know it's starting to get late for you. You probably want to relax and get to your shows. Did you watch what I sent you?
I did start watching it, yes.
And
It was so good. She was so
Yeah.
good. And you can't not watch her because she's putting her makeup on so well. You can't not watch her while she's telling you about murder. I enjoyed it, yeah.
Good. I'm so glad. Yes. I've thoroughly enjoyed her videos since I caught on to her around COVID, when COVID first started, and
Yeah.
she has lulled me to sleep many a night
Yeah,
since.
she was good.
Thank you so much for coming. It's
It was
been
nice, thanks.
both times. I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you. I think you're a lovely, lovely individual. It has been my absolute pleasure. I'm sorry to have to take up more of your time the second time around,
It's fine.
but
Absolutely fine.
you've been awesome about it, and I literally like have been, oh my God, all week. This is awful.
No.
I was like, I can't believe, of all people to make a fool of yourself with.
Oh no, don't be silly.
And again, thank you so much. It's been
No
a lovely time chatting with you, and I hope you enjoy your Bailey Sarian videos. And
I will. And I'll see you
Yeah.
in Vegas for Phantom of the Opera singing.
yes, exactly. Masquerade. I'll wear a masquerade mask.
Yes.
That's how you'll know it's me. Because anybody, after seeing this video, could randomly start
Could
singing
just show
Phantom
up.
of the Opera at you. I'll wear a masquerade mask.
Okay. I'll
Or a
look out
phantom.
for you.
Oh, maybe I'll wear a phantom mask.
Ooh. Interesting.
You got it.
Okay, I'll look out for both.
All right. Take care.
Thank you very much. See you.
No, thank you. Bye.
Bye.